Okay, check this out. From one writer to another, I have a new favorite writing hack that I'm obsessed with. I stumbled onto it about 3 weeks ago now, and I've already written about 25,000 words, which is like 25,000 words more than I've written in probably the last 6 months. This is specifically for people who feel like they're in a season where you're like writing in the cracks. That's what I call it, when you don't have like a dedicated time, like at least not very often. And it could be if you're a stay-at-home mom like me, or stay-at-home dad, or maybe you're working full-time, or, you know, disabilities, or taking care of relatives, or like you name it. Like, we all have things that keep us from writing and keep us really busy. And then there are certain seasons where it's like so busy that finding that time to just like sit down and have the, like, I don't know how to say it, like the writing time. Which for me, I was always like, it needs to be like a dedicated amount of time. It needs to be in a certain space. I need to have quiet. I need to not be around people. And having those kind of goals, like, you know, I need to write this many words on this day, this day, this day, and all those like deadline type things, they're not bad. Okay, they're not, like, they worked really well for me in certain seasons of life. Don't get me wrong. I love them. But they're not working in this season because I currently have 2 kids, 3-year-old and a 3-month-old. And let's just say there's no time, like no time. Even if, like, for example, I got a story idea during, say, my toddler's nap, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could go write this down. The idea of like going all the way upstairs, going down the hall into my room, digging out my computer, bringing it all the way back down, and then probably I'm carrying a baby the whole way, and on top of that, she's probably screaming for a bottle. It just doesn't sound doable or smart or fun at all. In other words, it's not happening. Same problem if I am like doing the dishes or the laundry or just laying in bed at night trying to sleep, and I should be sleeping, but I get a story idea, which happens a lot, by the way. That's when the best story ideas come, but I'm usually too tired to get up. I promise I am going to share this writing hack. It's just that it feels really basic if I just say it, but to me it was so revolutionary that I kind of want to like paint a picture for you, okay? So here's how it went down. About mid-March, I was finally feeling recovered enough from my C-section and just, you know, from having a newborn. And I was like, I'm so ready to write, but I didn't know how to make it happen. To be fair, I should say that I do get help sometimes, and it is a game changer. It makes a world of difference. I would 1000% make that the writing hack if that wasn't like cheating. But there are also a lot of days where I don't have help, and that's my choice. Like, I am very thankful for where I'm at. I'm not complaining at all. But it's like, what do you do with the story ideas when you're in the midst of this like chaotic day and you just literally don't have time? Like, what do you do? Because for me, I remember there's this one internet commenter who was like, probably back in 2019 or something, they were like, if you can't remember your idea, then it wasn't any good. And I just want to be like, sorry, dude, but that's not how my brain works, especially not as a postpartum mom, because I'm lucky if I can remember it in 5 minutes, okay? Much less the next day after I've slept. I'll remember negative people like that dude just fine. But good ideas, no, I don't. I forget very quickly. And then I'm bummed because I'm like, I know it was good. I just can't remember what it was. So I was laying in bed. Once again, a fun idea. It actually was like a new first line for the story. And I was like, I'm just going to write it down in my notes app because I'm so tired. I just don't have the energy to get up and find my computer right now. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this could be a good second line and a third line and a fourth. And I just like kept going. And I think I said this in a recent vlog as well, but I ended up writing over 700 words in my notes app. And I was like, oh my gosh. The next day I remember thinking, I wish I could just write my book in my phone like this. And then it occurred to me that there is a Google Docs app and it's free, and that I could literally write a novel in my phone if I wanted to, because the Notes app would get really wonky really fast and be complicated and confusing, and it doesn't like transfer to my computer like on the times when I would write on my computer. But the Google Docs app would allow me to go back and forth. It has things like a document outline, tons of other features like find and replace if you need to like find a spot that you were before, and you can like search a word or word count. You gotta love that. And of course, a big feature, you can move from your phone back to your computer, back to your phone, back to your computer, and you can just always find where you left off like that. On top of which, I also recently put in fun images, so I have story inspiration like right there, and oh my gosh, I will share how I did this in a second. But coming back to my story, I downloaded the app, I think literally the next day, and I wrote another 1,000+ words, and then more, and then more and more and more, and now here I am 3 weeks later, 25,000 words, right? It blows my mind. I feel like I sound like an ad for Google Docs because that's how over the top excited I am, but I promise this is not paid, not sponsored. I don't even know if they do that. Man, I probably am missing an opportunity here. I should have like reached out to them and been like, hey, do you want to sponsor a video or whatever? Oh well, too late. It's just like, that's how excited I am about this and how much I want to communicate, because I am the person who in the past people have told me about writing in Google Docs. I'm like, whatever, it's not for me, because for one thing, I was a little freaked out about the idea of you need to have internet. Well, that's not an issue when I always have my phone on me and I have a hotspot for one thing, but also when I'm using my computer, I'm usually around internet as well. So it's either on my phone, which has internet, or the computer. But that was like one holdup. And then the other holdup for me was like, it felt weird to not save it. Like, what if, oh my gosh, I couldn't have access to my Google Docs one day randomly, or like something happened to it, which, yeah, like never say never, but probably that will never happen. But I also, honestly, just because I have lost big chunks of story before once in the past, I am very, paranoid. And so I do just sometimes save it and send it to myself as well, because then I'm like, hey, at least I have a backup. So anyway, I solved those two problems, those two things that were keeping me from using it pretty quickly. And then the third thing, I guess, is that I just don't like change. And I've always written in Microsoft Word, which, don't get me wrong, I still love Word. But one of my favorite features in that really is that you can format it and that you can have a document outline so that you can easily grab like, oh, I want to go to chapter 10. Boom, you're there. All you have to do is click these 3 little dots here to get to your document outline, which I just leave open on my computer, by the way. And so it's like on the left-hand side of my computer all the time. And I'll just go, oh yeah, I need to go back to 5 or back to 7 or whatever. I need to see this random scene that I haven't actually put in a chapter yet. And I just like literally can hop around like that. And that's one of my favorite features. I'll share how to do that as well. It's super easy. The last thing I guess would be that it might be annoying for some people. Like, you might not want to do this if you don't want to type with your thumbs or whatever, which I totally get. But it's like, if I was going to write down an idea in my notes app anyway, why not write it in the Google Doc, you know? Or what about dictation? I mean, I'm not very good with change, but let's just try it right now. I'm just going to go to like the end of my whole document and just try it. Okay, so I'm on a random page. There's a little microphone, right? Okay, so I'm going to dictate this story to you, period. I really want it to be expressive, period. I'm going to, comma, use a lot of, comma, exclamation point. I mean, that's going to come out weird, period. Okay. There you go. I mean, like, I would have to get some practice at dictating, but that's hilarious. That's actually like perfect. That's legit word for word what I just said. Then you just check the box to say you're done typing so that you don't accidentally, you know, erase something or add words that you didn't mean to. And then if you want to edit again, you just click that little bottom right hand corner. I also love that there's these little like bold, italics, etc. down here, so you can actually do some formatting as you're writing it, which would be very annoying in the Notes app. Anyway, I'm going it down tangents because I love details, but the reason that this is a hack is because it removes roadblocks. It's removing my whole belief system about how like I have to sit down to write, or I have to have this much amount of time to write, or in this set place, etc., be on my computer. Like, it's just removing all those limiting beliefs and allowing me to write literally anytime, anywhere. And that has also helped my creativity to not be stifled, because if I get a random idea, I can actually just put it in right away. And if you could only see how many times, it's always at night, I'm just laying there, I'm like, I should be sleeping, but I really want to write this down. And I just grab my phone quick, add it in, maybe 50 words, maybe 100, put it back down. Usually I get another idea for a different part of the story. I'll scroll up there, add it in, put it down. And then the next day I can be like, oh my gosh, I remember how I was writing that thing, and I can add to it here. And it just keeps building. It's like a snowball effect. Like, honest to goodness, let me just back up and say it this way. Before kids, I could write and publish a book roughly in 12 months. That was kind of like my average. And then when I had my son, it kind of stretched out to 18 months, which is still pretty good, I would say. But at this point, when I had my daughter and I was like, their naps aren't lining up, I'm too tired at the end of the day, like I literally don't know if I will ever write again. That's how I feel. It now feels like maybe I will actually get a book out after all. Maybe even this year. Maybe a lot sooner than I thought. Now, there's probably an internet troll out there typing right now. I could just see it where they're like, you can't write a book on your phone because it's not going to be any good, blah, 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 blah. Well, I have the perfect comeback for that because I actually just the other day saw this hilarious, awesome, I think it was a reel or a TikTok, I forget, where Abby Jimenez shared that she's written all her books on her phone.
This is about me writing all of my first drafts on my cell phone with my thumbs. You guys, there are no rules. There are only best practices. There are no rules. And as far as the literary quality not being good, yours truly won Book of the Month's Book of the Year Award, won the Lolly Award for 2023. It was the first romance in the history of Book of the Month to ever win that award. This is my average rating as an author on Goodreads. Almost 3 million people have rated my books, and this is my average rating out of 5. The Friend Zone was a #1 bestseller in Poland. It won the Empik Award, beating out 20,000 other titles. Life's Too Short was the Minnesota Book Award winner for 2022. Just for the Summer, which is my highest rated book yet, was a #1 New York Times bestseller and was on the New York Times list for 5 months. I am a Library Reads Hall of Famer for my last 6 books, including my upcoming title, So You'll Remember Me. I have no formal background in writing. I have no formal training in writing. Everything I learned on a site online called Critique Circle, which is just an online forum for budding authors. And in creative writing in high school, I did not go to college. There are no rules. Just write the book however you are comfortable writing the book. Could the literature have been better if I had not been writing on my cell phone? Probably not, because when I write on my cell phone, it enables me to write wherever I'm feeling creative. I don't have to have a designated time or have to have a spot to sit with my laptop. I get to write wherever I'm feeling like writing. And as you know, when you're trying to be creative, you have to strike while the iron's hot, and you have to write when you're feeling inspired. You have to create when you're feeling inspired. And having the flexibility to do it on your cell phone on a Google Doc is what did it for me. There are no rules. Just write the book.
She is amazing. I just love that it confirmed for me that, yeah, this is totally doable. It was just perfect timing. Because again, just for anybody who needs to hear it, it's not about how we get the story out. It's about making it possible to get the story out, because it's already in our heads. We are the ones creating the story. We are the ones shaping if it's good or not the device that we use. And I don't know how Abby writes in her phone. I wish that I could ask her and pick her brain. Like, I've gotten a chance to meet her twice. I even have an interview here on my channel, but I didn't know and I wasn't prepared to ask her about that. So I actually have no idea how she does it, but I wanted to show you how I do it just to give you a few tips if you want. I'm a big believer in not getting too fancy, although you can do some fancy stuff in Google Docs, and even just like creating Canva images and adding those in can really spiff it up and make it look pretty. Also, if like you wanted to do chapter headers in Canva, it's pretty easy to add an image into Google Docs. But for me, I just did, I think, 3 things. So first of all, I just put a cute font at the top with the like temporary title, the Butter Book, because I don't know, there's something about like a title page that I really like. But otherwise, I just did a clean font for the manuscript, and I did a couple formatting things. So the first one is for the text itself. I like it to look like a book because that makes me feel like I'm writing a book. So all you have to do is indent the first line and then leave the rest of it normal, and it will look like a book. And if you want to, you could do is it called double spacing? I can't remember what it's called, but like single spacing is what a book looks like. So that's what I prefer. But if you're trying to traditionally publish, they prefer double spacing, I believe. So whatever you like. This is about just getting the book out. Remember, it's not about it being perfect. Whatever like looks good to you and inspires you, that's all that counts. And then the way that I get the document outline is super easy because Google actually already built in some headers. So I just go ahead and highlight a chapter or a scene or whatever I want to call it, and I just turn it into a header, which you can also customize if you want, but I just don't bother. And again, you could customize the fonts for all of these. You could really fiddle around and have fun with it, but I kind of keep it simple, and I try to just make it something that I can easily jump into writing a book and it's not going to distract me. And then the last thing is putting in those pictures. So this was a really fun thing because it's so incredibly easy. All you have to do, if you have some inspiration pictures, whether from Pinterest or wherever, is you can create a table, and I just did 4 across, and then you highlight it to edit the table. And basically I changed the outline from being black to white, which turns it invisible. And then I added my pictures inside that table. Or you could add the pictures first and then make the outline invisible, either way. And I just moved the pictures around until they fit the way that I wanted them to. And then funny enough, I was doing this in desktop for just some inspiration for my story. And as you can see, it didn't turn out quite as cute on my phone because there's more pictures than it actually shows. So it hit me that it would have been even easier to just make one image in Canva, pop that into the Google Doc, and you'd be good to go. And it would probably show up a little bit more normal on the phone side of things as well. Anyway, again, I try to not let myself go down the rabbit hole too much and just do something quick that works instead of spending like hours, perfecting something that hasn't actually moved my story forward, because we're talking about time savers. We're talking about being in a season where we don't have a lot of time. But if you wanted to do something fun just to have a little cute inspiration, or make fun chapter headers or something that you can just pop in to visually split up your page as well, you totally can. Okay, I have rambled about Google Docs for like 30 minutes now. If you like it, if you are interested and decide to try it, definitely let me know. I'm very curious what you're going to think of it. And if you already use Google Docs, let me know and share all your fun, little tips and tricks for using it as well, because we can all learn from each other. But even if this hack isn't for you, and that's totally okay, I still hope it gave you some ideas and it inspired you, because really when you boil it down, all that a hack is something that is going to remove roadblocks from you being able to write. That's it. So whatever roadblocks that you have, I hope this gave you some fun ideas for how you could get them gone. Anyway, I will just leave you with the Butterbook launch page, because if you didn't know about it, it's on Kickstarter as a pre-launch page where you can sign up to get notified. And there's already 200 people on there. And like I said, I actually feel hopeful that it could come out. I don't know if I should want to say this year, but how cool would that be? But at the very least, I have a timeline now where it could, depending on how things go. I'm still at the very beginning. I'm still writing the first draft, but like 25,000 words. So wish me luck, and I will share more updates on the Butterbook in the future.